Hello, thank you for tuning in into my program tonight. Once again, my name is Aaron Dujuchi, so I'm reaching you live all the way from Putney, Vermont. I am a current international student majoring in sustainable business at Green Mountain College. Once again, thank you for your time. Today, I'll be presenting to you a topic so dear to my heart. I title Starting Small with Little Beginnings. What what is little beginnings? It means to start from scratch. It means to accept responsibility even at the space of hardship. It means not neglecting, not neglecting the the foundation of which you laid yourself. You started at first. Many folks lack the courage to start small. They want to start big, but unfortunately, they end up accomplishing nothing. Most of the time, over ambition and pride get in the way of people and make them despise starting small, neglecting the fact that from from small beginnings comes with great things. In the words of Liu Tzu, a Chinese Taoist philosopher, founder of the Taoism and writer of the book titled The Book of the Way, once said, "A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a step." And I want to leave this question to my audience. Why do people often decide to start big? Why do people often decide to take more than one step at a time? Personally, when you take more than one step at a time, you end up crashing. You end up missing some basic steps. And this reminds me of a book I read titled Imitation is Limitation. People tend to go ahead of time because they tend to imitate other people, neglecting the fact that life is a seed. Life is a seed. As it as it is often said, only the grave is built starting from the top to the bottom. Dr. Ora Robert of blessed memory always talked about the seed principle. He taught that everything starts with a seed. It could be a seed ideas, seed time, seed money, seed faith, etc., etc. Seeds are small, but guess what? When planted and watered, they turns out to become a giant what? A giant tree that bears fruit. I want to use some analogy. For instance, a mango seed, as small as it is, not even as big as a coconut seed, it has the ability to produce fruit for a whole community. How many seed do you plant to get a mango tree? Just one seed. A tiny seed turns out to become a big tree that bears fruit for even the birds, even for humans to eat from. Let's use another analogy. A maize grain. One grain produces a cobs that has so many seeds. Let's use another analogy. A rice grain. One seed, when planted, also produces numerous seeds. So why go ahead of time? I will read us a story that really inspired me. And this story is about Benjamin Franklin. He is recognized as one of the American famous leaders that shaped the history of this country. Franklin's life is the pattern from which all self-made men have been cut. His rhetoric of hard work, ambition, and thrift was not merely a philosophy he preached, it was a code by which he lived his life. None of his successes came by chance. They were created by ceaseless way in which he organizes his life to maximize productivity. Such discipline was necessary if he ever hoped to rise from humble beginnings. Franklin was the 15th of 11 children born to Father Josiah Franklin, a candle maker. Granted only 2 years of formal schooling, Franklin supplemented his knowledge by constantly having his nose stuck in a book. That's a humble beginning. Personally, I am not bragging. I'm not trying to praise myself. It's just to inspire somebody and also encourage others that at the verge of giving up their dream, at the verge of losing hope. I come from a humble background. My dad, a poor carpenter. My mom was once a janitor before she started finding her way, going to school to get more credentials in order to continue working over there back in Nigeria. I did everything I'm supposed to do as a young man to get where I am today. I did not wake up and find myself in the United States. It took hard work, persistence, and perseverance. Knowing fully well of my humble background, I got myself involved in community service when I tried to secure admission in my home country that proved abortive. I took a particular exam 5 times. Not that I was failing, I was having good grades. I come from a country with approximately 170 million people with 126 universities. Year in, year out, 3 to 4 million young kids of my age compete for a limited space. Very, very competitive. But guess what? I got myself involved in community service. And that was how I had the opportunity to use the United States Embassy for research and studies. I devoted my time in research and studies. And through that means, I got an information on how to study in the United States with scholarship. Just like Benjamin Franklin, he stuck his nose in a book. Let me continue with Benjamin Franklin's story. When he was 17, young Ben struck out on his own and traveled to Philadelphia, unlike other aristocrats of the period who used slave labor to free up time for their other pursuits. Franklin created an enormous successful printing business which allowed him to retire and became a veritable resilience man. His accomplishments are too numerous to list. As an author, he penned the Paul Richards Amtrak, his famous autobiography, and numerous classic essays. As an inventor, he created the lighting rod, the glass harmonica, the Franklin stove, and so many other things to mention. Today, history recorded him as one of the most famous, not only famous, but one of the founding fathers of United States, the country where I am currently studying. Starting small with a little beginning. I will also narrate a story about somebody who is so dear to my heart, of which I have been following his past antecedent, how he succeeded to become one of the richest men in Africa. I am not exaggerating. He started small. He's no other person other than Aliko Dangote, of which Forbes currently rated him as the #1 most successful businessman in Nigeria, of which his self-worth is about $1.6 billion. How did he start? This is somebody from a humble background. He collected a loan from his uncle, a loan of 250,000 naira, which is not even up to 3,000 United States dollars. He started very little, and today he's somebody worth celebrating. Since my arrival here in the United States, I've had opportunity to interact with young kids, young folks. My first conversation always bring up the topic of education. When I ask them, what do you want to do with your life? Some of them often tell me that they prefer buying a truck and renting an apartment than going to school. I feel so disappointed. Well, they live in a very civilized society where everything works. But the question I keep asking, what if social security fails? What if food stamp fails? What will you do? You go back to your education. You go back to the degree you earn, dust it. Even though there is no job opportunity in the United States, you can trade your knowledge. You can trade your skills to Africa. You can trade your skills to Asia, where it's most needed. At the same time, I often ask myself this question. Why is it that people tend to neglect their humble beginning? They just want to wake up one morning and be self-made. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be ambitious, but you got to begin with a step. Every opportunity lies a seed for greatness. When you neglect an opportunity, that opportunity could be going to school, being a student, go to school, take those courses for 4 years, apply some of those skills. Oh yes, education is not everything, that's true. Because there are a lot of people that are graduates today that instead of using their education to better the life of common man, they end up not even being recognized in the society. But there are a lot of opportunities one could start from. It could be going to college or starting a business. Every opportunity, once again, lies a seed. And in that seed lies greatness. As I begin to wrap up today's episode, I want to sincerely thank you for your time. And also, in addition, I'm looking forward to have you back next Sunday, same time. Thank you for your time.